A warm welcome to you, my friends, wherever you may be viewing from, and welcome to this Halloween episode of Bayou Gold Guy. I am Bayou Gold Guy, and yeah, it's still we're going into Halloween weekend, I guess you'd say, but it's still not until next week. So this is traditionally whenever we get those midweek Halloweens, this is the weekend where all the parties go on and you get stuff going. So you see, still got my giant pumpkin here. We'll probably have to do something for the actual Tuesday for the 31st because, like I said, it's just at the time of doing this video, it'd be over a week before it's Halloween, and they just don't last that long. Even there's ways to spray them with stuff, and I can't remember what it's like bleach or some kind of diluted bleach or something that was actually a good preservative that keeps them from crinkling up and shrinking for a number of days, but I can't really remember right now offhand. But anyway, it's still more time than I wanted to have for my big pumpkin there. So we'll see. But we are doing the little Blood Bayou Paydirt bottle tonight on the giveaway. So you're going to want to be listening for the blood curdling scream, not the usual ringing of the bell. So Halloween. So yeah, you got to have the scream to kick it off, and then start entering your numbers then, but not before. To get to be confused. So that being said, let's turn to, we've got a good Halloween. It was 2 years ago when I did this pay dirt. It was courtesy John R. Prospecting had sent it to me, and it was, yes, that difficult black poison from Jace up there at Flower Gold Wizards, and I was doing it like when I was trying to do a series at that year. So I had several that I was trying to get out in like a week's time or something. But I remember I was doing that one like at 2 in the morning in the house at the sink. I think it was raining outside. I didn't have a light or whatever, but yeah, it was tough, and it was wearing me out. And so I didn't really enjoy it as much as I could have, because I was trying to get it out to get it done for that one, because I had the Halloween video that was going to follow that up. So yeah, that's not the case this year. I'm lucky to have this. Oh, hurricane. He went through the webbing. I knew it was going to be an issue. That's his pathway. So yeah, there you go. Little live action there of the cat coming down. But hey, he's the Halloween cat, right? Right, big boy? Right, my big boy? Come here. You never get any. Oh. There we go. Hold on. You never get any screen time. With Daddy. Yeah. So yeah, he's my rescue there after Hurricane Ida, and he wanted the belly scratches, but the mama and babies have just been a little much for him. He still doesn't want to. He likes to be outside. So, but that being said, all right, let's turn to the new gold epicenter of South Louisiana. Our haunted table here. Just a little update on my Reaper plant here. You can see we actually have some some peppers on here that are ripening up. We may actually do some of these for Halloween. Do a little taste comparison. The one that came off, I had one that had come off the plant that had ripened, and then no more. And you can see there are a bunch of them that have come out, and there's a reason for that, because I started taking, I didn't have a paintbrush, but I would take a little strip of, that's actually the filter off of an old cigarette butt, and I kind of splay it out at the top, and then I was going through and taking the blooms, and each one rubbing it, and I'm pollinating the plant this way, because I realized I was not seeing any bugs, any bees, any any flying pollinators of any kind. Right there, there's my boy. So yeah, that's and it does not have now it's kind of tapered out. I don't have the blooms on it like I did a few weeks ago when I started doing this. But like I said, I just go through and I'll hit them. Usually I'll do this in the morning when I'm walking Gizmo for the first time of the day, and then I'll go back and I'll hit them, and then I've been taking again, I just go through and hit them a couple of different times to give it, just like a bee would do, multiple hitting the flowers over and again. And there we go. So yeah, those are ripening up nicely. And the one that I've got, the one that came off the plant, that was the first and only pepper. And it's my boy. And I just never, that's when I was really feeling bad and was dealing with it. It was like the 1st of September when I started dealing with all the breathing stuff. But I was doing the same thing with the ghost pepper here because it had not put out a single pepper one. And you can see, I don't know if they're turning bad or if that's part of the coloration. They're supposed to be red. These are the red ghost peppers. So they should be turning red and not necessarily purple. But I don't know. We'll see. But it does have a good dozen peppers on it that it did not have before I started. And it was always full of blooms, but I never had any peppers coming been So I've been kind of trying to cross-pollinate it, not only with itself, but with that Reaper over there, and see if I can could get a different kind of pepper out of it. So, and then I've had a couple of these that I'd planted seeds for at the very beginning of the summer off my old Reapers, and they've just now started coming up because it was just so hot and bad this summer here. So yeah, we'll see if the ghost peppers, how the ghost peppers end up doing on that. And then of course my little habanero here is just wasted away to nothing. It got those 6 off. I sent half of them to T-Rep, and that was it. And then this was my Reaper from last year that I overwintered, trying to took it in the house and tried to keep. What I found out was I should have cut it down here on all sides and leaving just the V that came out, and then let it sprout instead of leaving the whole pepper plant and just barely trimming off the ends. So they are supposed to go from year to year though, where you could be able to do that. So again, there's a few little blooms that are still coming out on this one it has not put out a single pepper this year at all, even there. But you can see right there, since I started doing this, it looks like we have one that's starting to sprout right there. So we'll see. That's the pepper situation here. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe on Halloween we'll do something and include a Reaper peppers, Reaper and ghost peppers maybe for the Halloween season. Ghosts and Reapers, they fit. It's appropriate. So we got that, and we're definitely going to want to make sure we have a good amount of our jet dry in there to keep any of that fine gold from wanting to wash around. Ooh, I can smell that. I put too much in there. That's all right. So we will go ahead and give this a nice clean cut on our bag. Again, the very cool Halloween bag there for this, the Flower Gold Wizards. What's the deal with my damn zoom focus on this thing today? Yep, the Black Poison. All right, let me see. Where is... Okay, I was looking for my little bag of goodies there. because we want to break out and try our, since I don't have a cleanup sluice or anything to be scooping material into with, we're going to use it for our, break it in on our dirt right here into our pan. And this is probably about what you want to work on this stuff, a spoonful at a time. Add a little bit more in there. Seal it up so I don't knock it over and spill it out. And that being said, now we're ready to just see what we've got to deal with here. Again, this is some included in this bag is the very fine flour gold, but it is also, some of it is gold that he takes off the beaches of the Great Lakes. I believe it's Superior's when he gets most of his prospecting, but it's a big area. It's a big lake. It's a lot of shoreline, and I don't think you can just go arbitrarily pick you a spot and find you a layer of black sand and start digging and be successful. I think he's got it down to a pretty good science of what he's looking for and the convergence points that come together to make a good layer of gold. And because, man, you see whenever he's doing that, you can see there's black sand, layers of black sand that you can find everywhere, but it does not all have gold in it, at least that you can find. Actually, there's tons and tons of gold all over the United States, but it is so micro fine that it's not recoverable, or even, no idea that it exists. So there you can see, whenever you're doing this, the lighter material will, when you wash it down and stratify it there, it'll pop that lighter stuff up over the black sand, and then you rinse that down out of the way very, very easily, gently. Then you give it a shake, wash it back down and give it a shake, and it'll float that lighter stuff up on top again. And you don't want to wash down too far, because you will start washing that fine stuff out, because it does tend to want to move, surprisingly, more so than you'd think. That's why I say you just want to do a small amount, because then you're going to start working it in flour gold fashion, where you're going to do a wash. Number one, you gotta want to try to tap it all up as much as you can at the front to start off, because it will cling not only to the pan, but it'll cling to the bottom of the pan, the side of the pan. And then you just slowly start washing down. It seems like the last time when I did this a couple of Halloweens ago, or the first Halloween of the channel, and after the first couple of hours, I think I went ahead then and used the magnet and pulled the rest of the black sand out to try to expedite it, because I think I was still going at it at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning from when I'd started. It was taking me so long in the kitchen working over the sink, and it just didn't seem right. I always do this stuff outside. It's, an outdoor, gold mining is an outdoor activity. It just never felt right to me doing it inside. That's why it's always kind of cool out here when it's got a little weather going on, and makes it feel a little more like you're out doing the real thing in the backyard. It looks like we're seeing a little speck there already that keeps popping up there on the top, and you can pick it up in the camera. Like right there. So you can see it wants to sit on top of that black sand, even though it's a denser material. It when it's that small, it behaves differently than what you're used to seeing, even fine gold working in a pan. And it's basically an entirely different animal when you get down to this level, on the double black diamond level, like on the gold nugget sales bags. The double black diamond, that's got the tungsten in it. This does not, and it's still a very real challenge. And then you have the kinky, which was to me was even smaller than this. It's like the mill gold, where it's been milled off of larger, pieces of gold, whether it was from polishing, buffing, cutting, for jewelry. At least it was whenever the first bottles. What I've seen subsequently that he put out was larger, definitely larger gold than what he was putting in that originally. You can see those little flakes starting to... Oh, I forgot to zoom out, damn it. Maybe you didn't see anything there. You can see those tiny flakes. And same thing, then you want to go back through, so I don't, a lot of times people will do this and they'll get it down there and then they'll use their bottle to rinse that out of the way. But my strategy, a way of thinking of that, is you don't want to do that, because you've already got it in your pan, you've got the bulk of it out. You go back through this a couple of more times, and if you keep finding fine gold, you just keep going through it until you're not finding any more specks. As opposed to dumping it all back in, then going through it, spoon at a time again, but with much, much less gold to try to recover from it. Just keep it, keep working the same pan until you're not finding any more specks that you can see or recover. Then empty it out in your catch pan. There's some gold this fine, at least this fine, in the Halloween Blood Bayou bottles. So and with material that is actually more difficult than this. The material in that bottle is more difficult because it has more stuff added to it. This is just black sand. You don't have to worry about any kind of pyrite or mica, or dare I say a little tungsten here and there, or crushed lead. any of those things that are going to show up in the Blood Bayou, and the fact that on top of that, it is a red clay that you cannot hardly see what you're trying to do on that stuff. So the red clay dirt was tough enough without any black sand added. So I use that as the base for those nightmares. Which there are going to be. There's a few more days on being able to get that, and it'll end for Halloween. So anybody that's wanting to pick that up can email me before it's Halloween. Again, if you wanted to try to do this and you didn't want to deal with this much, you know, struggle on it, you can use the magnet and take out the black sand with the magnet as long as it's dry. And of course, you pick it up with the magnet, and then you do that 3 or 4 or 5 times, dropping it back in, picking it back up. So you try to get it where you've got, and then in a different spot each time, so you're not just picking up the same stuff over. You shake it off, dump it back in, and go back and redo it over and over again before you remove the black sand. And usually, at least what I've found is, when I've gone back through my black sand looking for it, I did not find any gold that made it through as long as it was dry. Now, I believe, I think it was Rock Butcher in the comments when we were doing the live chat, was talking about doing it when it's wet, and basically does the same thing, but does it in the, in the pan wet, and goes in and repeats that process, and that removes makes sure that you get all the gold out that way as well. But yeah, the only time that I ever did this, whenever I found gold in my black sand, was when I did it and there was some dampness to it, and that gave it a chance, because the gold is so fine that it clings in between the grains of the magnetite, and will actually carry it out with that black sand. So that's why you always want to make sure you do it at least. Sometimes I do it, a half a dozen times or more when I'm cleaning out my black sand, to get all because I want just pure black. I don't want any of the little white specks or tan, anything that's still magnetics in there, but it eventually, you can kind of cull it out by just repeating that process with your magnet. Now, see, those are relatively large. That's relatively large gold for fine gold there. That's the larger pieces of the stuff that we're wanting to get out of here. And again, for you guys wanting to try to do this, or if you've not done it before, what you really want to do is you want to get your, I got it on the wrong side. You want to get it down to where you can kind of separate your small stuff like that away from your sand, and then it's very opportunistic. Grab it when you can, because you're not, if you're trying to wash all this away like I'm doing and end up with showing how much gold you're getting in that amount, you're going to end up washing a lot more gold down into here to have to go back through it than grabbing it up. Just like over here now, you can see this side, that's much finer, smaller gold showing up on this edge. So especially that kind of stuff. So we're just doing this first one to, like I said, to show, kind of go through all this for any of you guys that are looking at this for the first time. Like, there's a little speck right there that's already made it down. And see, I tap it up, you can see that thing walk, and how it just walks right on up the pan. So, well, hold on, I'm gonna start grabbing that kind of stuff up too. I'll be right back. Let me get my bottle. All right, there we go. So we got that. Our first speck is in the bottle. And again, I've been doing a little more swirling on this, getting to those bigger pieces. But most of the time, you want to keep your pan where you're pretty much even, level, holding it level, and wash that water so that it meets at the top from the two sides, and then carries the black sand down through the middle. And that way you're not, every time it comes together, it's pushing the gold in at the top rather than swirling it out where it'll carry it out to the sides and possibly rinsing it away from you. And it takes some practice, and you muscle memory. I haven't done it in a while. I don't do it that regularly, especially the stuff that I've been getting lately. So I'm a little out of the muscle memory practice, but you can see there it's a very easy wash on it. And then again, I'm talking and not always want to keep sure you tap that gold up. And you want to rock it back and forth, meet together at the top, pull down through the center. And again, you can see those little specks are showing up gold, tiny. That's why I love the green pan, because even those tiniest specks like that show up like neon. And in a black pan, it'll show up, but you can't see where your black sand is. On the blue pan, it doesn't show up like that. So that is why anybody that's starting out on this, I would recommend always starting out with the green pan, and then get some experience and practice in on it, and then start branching out if you want colors or whatever else. I just don't care for the colored pans, especially the purples and the pinks and the whole. Not, if people like it, that's fine, but I don't, so I don't use those. The only reason I have the ones that I have is because I want them from Vendetta. So that would be like this Falcon pan is what supposedly you're supposed to use for this kind of material. You can see it's very well. Can't see, can you? It's a very thin, flat pan with a wide bottom on it, no riffles. It's made to be worked in the middle, but I tried using it a little bit like that to see, and you're not supposed to season it. Like, this pan's very heavily seasoned, and so it holds even the smallest granules cling to it. And on that Falcon pan, the smooth surface, it just moves way too easy to wash stuff down. I don't understand what the benefit of it is supposed to be. So it may just be my ignorance as far as not being familiar with the use of it. Like I said, the time that I used it and tried to do this with it, it didn't hold the gold like this. It was moving like the sand. That gold stays in place, and you can see that black sand washing down. So we end up, and this stuff is another thing. It's hard to get a very clean batch of flour gold, because when you get it down to, again, like I said, we're in some here that's mixed with that super fine stuff that's larger pieces. But yeah, when you get it down to this size, trying to rinse it away, and you end up carrying gold with it every wash of that tiny stuff. So there we go. That is our beginning. And that is some pretty fine gold. Like I said, that's some even larger pieces of the fine, with that fine stuff that will be in this bag. We will go ahead and get the snuffer on that. I'm going to go back through and see if there's, let's go hit a little wash there, and we'll see right away here if there's anything standing out. And you can see right at the, I forgot to put, usually I put, when you're doing this especially, you want to put some couple of drops of jet dry in your rinse bottle so you don't dilute down your stuff when you're adding water to the pan and then sending that gold floating. But you can see right there We've already got a little speck that made it by. A couple of specks there. A couple of specks there. And there. So, again, that's why and rather than dumping this out, I'm going to keep going through this, getting that separation, sucking up the pieces that I can get with as little black sand in there as I can, because then you got to rinse it all out on the cover dump. So that's it. A horrifying pay dirt to go through, especially if you're in a hurry. You can't be in a hurry on this stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how long this takes me to get through this. The video's I'm already longer than I should be at this point. But we looked at the peppers and we've been messing around some. So, all right. Well, I'll be back whenever I get a little further along here, and we'll see how it's working out. Well, this is what I get for jacking around. I was going to put some in the Falcon pan, try a wash, and I had a scoop in there and it fell off, and there it is where it hit, and it spread out over to here, and I'm scooping it up and putting it in here. So I'm going to be panning out my own ground here and trying to scoop this stuff up and just grab up everything that I can. I can't believe I did that. It's about once a year I knock. Last time I did this was that what was it called? The big stuff, the large leaf. Unfortunately, it was just the large flat pieces that were in there at the time I did it, so it was easy to recover. There wasn't anything. I've never dumped loose gold like this out. So it goes up to right there. So I'm trying to take up that first ½ inch of dirt off the ground here. Some of it hit on top of my shoe on my right foot, so that I went ahead and dumped in. Most of that was all in, but now let's try the magnet and see what I'm going to pick up here that we might have. It'll only be what magnetics were in there, but yeah, you can see that's not all out of the bag. Some of that's stuff that's here. Instead of mixing in with all that, and see what kind of mess I've got myself into on this. All right, well, got a different green pan here, so we'll it's become a very different material than what we were initially working with. I'll say that. So yeah, that's the first time actually you're seeing me panning real, actual Louisiana Bayou dirt. Can't believe I did that. Maybe if I didn't have a bunch of damn pumpkins in the way here, I'd have had more room for that pan instead of sitting it so close to the edge. Not paying attention to how close I was. Actually, that's about as far down as I'm worried about getting it now, because we are at our where's my magnet? Yeah. We are at our original goal position there, I think, and see how much of this is magnetic in here. Yeah, that's a good amount of magnetics. So gonna move this out of the way and go back to the big green pan and keep all so that my dirt's together. and throw this stuff out and start over on the next one. Well, all right, there you can see that's the first part of the rewash, and there is a lot of fine gold in there, so it looks like I probably got the bulk of it up, taking up that first quarter half inch of ground, and I still have a nice, a pan full here to go through. So I think we're going to be all right as far as not losing. Might have a few specks that got away, but not enough, I don't believe, to amount to any weight. So again, we're just going to go ahead and this fine stuff, when you get down to the really fine stuff, sometimes this stuff, especially on a pan like this, like I said, that's so well seasoned, you've got to really almost scrape the bottom with your nozzle to pull it up. It doesn't, usually when you're sucking up gold, you get within, a quarter, eighth of an inch of it as you're sucking. It's going to suck up everything around it. But I've done this stuff where I had to literally sit there like a vacuum and scrape it with the tapered edge flat on the pan to get it out. So there we go. I'm going to search through this repeatedly. Then we'll get through the rest of this. Then I'll get back to what's in the rest of this. So, all right, you guys, let that be a cautionary tale. Make sure you have situational awareness of where your pan is on the table. So after all that, my mic went dead. But as you can see, we've got some gold that has been recovered out of that ground. So like I said, I think I got all of it up off the ground. So just a pain in the ass. But at any rate, we're at the point where, that's right, pick a number, any number between 1 and 100, as long as it's the same number I picked. And good luck to you all. All right, well, here we are back in day 2 of the Flour Gold Wizards Black Poison bag. And yeah, after dealing with the spill yesterday, I think I got out pretty lucky, and it was all recovered. So going to go back to working this down. I've still got the sunlight today, so I'll be able to see that fine stuff even better. It was just it was going to be too hard last night, and I needed to be able to see the best. So that's it. We're going to work it down, and we'll be back to take a look at it and continue guessing. All right, I'd forgotten that we saw something in here yesterday as we were wrapping up, and I didn't see it on the first stuff I was pouring out of here. About that much, but yeah, check that out. Very nice. Some water and then rinse it off. Oh, I don't know if it was 2 pieces or one that was just kind of held together, but I mean, maybe it was 2 separate chunks, but some very nice. Let me dry my hands off here. Some beautiful crystallized silver there. I was not expecting to see in the bag, so that's very cool. So we're gonna go with about that much again. I'm gonna set this off to the side in a pan where it'll be safe, away from me knocking it off somewhere, and start working this batch through. And it's just again a very long, slow process when you're getting fine gold out of this amount of black sand. That I did the last one after when I was showing you that the magnet under the bottom, you could see there was a lot of black sand besides the magnetite that it was grabbing, actually much more than what was in there with the magnetite. So that's the hematite. That's the stuff you can't clear out. So even if you wanted to try to make this a little bit easier by getting that magnetite out, it would help get a little bit out of the way, but you're still going to have basically the same amount of time and having to do that slow rocking, moving that water very slow and trying to keep that fine gold from washing down. But yeah, I could definitely have a better view out there in the sun when it came to finding those, I mean, specks that I would not have seen even with the camera that were so tiny, but that when you got the sun hitting them, it does kind of pick up on them. So well, that's it. So we're going to work this down. Even after I get it down here, that's whenever like I said, the slow part starts. And it may take 25 minutes to work that down and clean out all the fine gold that's in it. So, but again, the slower you do it and get it out, then the less time you have to spend going back through the pan. There was only a few specks that I'd missed because I sat down in the sun and was working it real slow instead of like this, standing here and kind of rushing through it a little more than I should when it gets down to that, exposing it, recovering it. So, but all right, well, it's a challenging bag. And for the amount of dirt in the bag that was and the cost, I think it was $30, I believe. We got at the end here, I believe that's what it was, $30 postage paid. So a really good price especially for the amount of time that you get out of that one, and depending on whether how fun or arduous you find it, I guess will determine your enjoyment level with this. All right, I'm loving it. So it's a happy Halloween. Horrific. The horrific part was dumping it on the ground. Fortunately, that scare, that jump scare was recovered from. So that's about it. But then once I get this, actually when I get done, I will use the magnet and try to separate all the magnetite out of this before I go back through it looking for any fine specks that might have rinsed out doing this, because as y'all saw, that super fine gold tends to sit on top of this dark material because it's just not heavy enough to settle down through the density of the black sand there. So you got to be real careful and gentle about not rinsing that out. And then you see you're down to that where you're just getting that those very fine grains that are starting to, here we are, that start to rinse down and out. And even that could carry some, see, like that could be fine gold that it's trying to carry out. I don't believe it is there. But let's turn the light on and see if it lights up like gold. But again, you can see that's not black sand. That's probably still some of the lighter sand that's still flushing out here. And then you see there's the fine gold that's trapped in it that we gotta get out. So some fun stuff for sure. Well, we got a flock of Canada geese coming by. Oh, there's another batch of them came from the other direction. And there's the other, they're heading over to Lake Homo, which is just to the side of me. I've been out here so long, the moon has come out. Let's see, where's our moon? There it is. And yeah, there's my boy, my little helpers. Hey, Gizmo. Hey, Hurricane. Yeah. Yeah, I've been out here so long. I was out there where the sun was reaching to the pan, and yeah, it's after over 4 hours of working on this, I lost the sun. But we got our gold. And it's time to do the snuffer dump. So here we go, and it is going to have a bit of black sand in there with it, for sure. Cap looks pretty clean there. You can see where that stuff just sticks in there to the inside. Use your squirt bottle to get that out. Yeah, those are some nice Western Canadas. Those were big geese. The wildlife preserve is a few miles to the south with the direction they were coming from, where they spend the day. They fly out at night. Probably, like I said, they'll go over here to Lake Homa. It's a very flat, they call it Lake Homa. It's basically a extension of the marsh that's a lake that's only about 3 feet deep over, I don't know, like 50 acres or 100 acres or something like that. But yeah, it's always cool to see those Canadas. Man, those are, I spent a lot of years trying to get me a Canada goose when I was a kid. Hunting in North Texas on the lake where I grew up, Lake Dallas, or Lake Louisville as it became known. But so yeah, while I was doing this, I was listening to the reports. We have a new Speaker of the House, and he's our representative from down here in Louisiana, Michael Johnson, who is said to be the most America First MAGA representative person to ever to be chosen for that, for the House speakers. So he was against sending more money to Ukraine. He was against basically all the woke agenda crap. He's always been a supporter of Trump and the America First. So it's a 220. It's amazing that these rhinos voted for him, voted him in. I was not expecting that. I thought they were going to end up going pushing for, what's his name, Donaldson. He was the black guy. They don't really, the Republicans don't work on identity politics like that. He was a very pro Trump, America First candidate as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Our man from Louisiana is now the Speaker of the House. So hopefully we'll see, get a little action done. So check that out. There is our gold. And we got some pretty tiny stuff there. I'll go through the bottom. You can see where it washed a little bit of it down. So I'll still have to go back and clean that out and get to that. But we'll go ahead and suck this up, because that's pretty clean right there. Get some fresh water in there so we can try to keep as much of the fine sand that's, see there how it sticks to the side of the pan there. It's even try to tap it down, it still wants to clean. Oh man, well, represents about, I don't know, 6 hours total of panning and repanning and then cleaning out the snuffer to get down to what we have here, which is some very fine, difficult flour gold to recover. And yeah, you can see that's gold. They're all those little tiny, that's like hundredths of the size of a grain of sand. Some of those little specks, maybe not that small, but yeah, they're, tiny compared to even a grain of sand. So, and then there's our scoop with our silver in there and our labels. Rigby. So let's see if we can get this onto the paper here. Try to keep it out of the crack on this one just because it's still so fine. It'll get wedged in the fold of the paper. Waiting to show the number of the winner because I'm not sure if I have enough time in between when it started, because I didn't show that much of actual panning on this stuff because it was like I said, wasn't a lot to see other than what I showed you guys going through it and how meticulous you had to be. So we'll see if it paid off here. These are a 1/4 gram minimum on these, so we're zeroed out. Let's see if it's not moving around. We'll get a quick weight on it there. So it's like 0.218, and then you saw it jumped. So let me 0.218. Let's see how far off we are on the and 0.999. So yeah, 218. So that would suggest, and I imagine there's probably, I would expect it to be a little over a 1/4 gram that he probably puts in there, not exactly a 1/4 of this small gold. So all right, now we're showing, because I was going to say I don't know where I would find any more finer dust, but now we're up to 2.5. So it's like I said, I just don't know about this scale, but we just did the test on it. It was weighing even, and that's a 0.04 difference, 0.0339 to 40. So that would still put us at 0.2. Yeah, like it would probably what the original hit was there, about 0.22 or so. And it shows that it's weighing it a little shy of the actual weight on this. So we might actually have our 2.5 plus on here. It's hard to say when you're looking at this fine gold exactly what there's still a little bit of black sand left in there because it was, like I said, it was tough, but a negligible amount there. So it's still a very cool bag. $30 postage paid, and hours and hours of fun. So the next thing would be our winner of the Bayou BGG giveaway, Blood Bayou for 23. And like I said, you can see there's some garnets showing in there, some black sand mixed in with that clay already. And so the winner for the Halloween 23 live chat giveaway winner is number 64. Number 64. And I came up with that with the 10/31/23, October 31st, 2023. So that's how my logic worked on that one. So got a drop of water on it there just before I did this. So I didn't feel like redoing this whole thing for that. So there you go. But yeah, you don't want to get any of this stuff wet or any of your labels, because that's what happens. It is not water soluble or water resistant or whatever that term is. It says it's going to take getting a little splash on it. But yeah, you can see it has got a very unique look to it whenever it's that fine, tiny stuff. But it still keeps the same character of gold. As I said, you could have any one of those pieces enlarged 10 times or 50 times, and it'll look like the gold nugget when it's down to a size that's micro like this. So a very cool quality of gold to me. So Thank you so much, Jason, Flower Gold Wizards, for an awesome bag and a very good time. I'm editing this and I realized I lost the segment where I was showing what we got along with our pay dirt. So another Flower Gold Wizard sticker there for his Black Poison. A very cool Flower Gold Wizard sticker of the trees of his channel. And then the wonderful That's It Rigby on his Flower Gold Wizard sticker there. So those will be great for the board. Plus he included the, I believe this is a one of the what do they call it? Laser print 3D printers 3D printer scoop with his initials on it there, and I couldn't tell if that's actually words or just a pattern, like a grip pattern to hold it, because it asks for that too. It's only on one side, but I really couldn't make anything out on it. So, but it's very cool. My first laser printed anything. You can see the layers where it builds it up. So, and all right. And I also wanted to do a quick shout out to my good friend John R. Prospecting. He's going to be back this weekend. For those of you guys in the live chat or anybody else watching, check his channel out. He's gonna. It's been a while since he's done a video, but he has one coming out, and it's going to be a good one. It's some big gold. So, all right. I just wanted to wrap that up. I'm editing. I'm going, where's that spot showing my stuff? And I have no idea what happened to it. Well, all right, my friends. That will wrap up this Halloween episode of Bayou Gold Guy. I am Bayou Gold Guy. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. Please subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button. I know vidIQ said that they had did an experiment where just asking people to subscribe had doubled their views on the videos when they were doing a comparison, and that's something I often forget to do. But so we made it to 900 and back again, and this time they didn't take off 50 viewers, so I mean subscribers, so it seems to be holding. So thank you all so much for that. Really appreciate the support. Watching, thank you for being in the live chat, playing the game. Good, congratulations to whoever got that, and you're going to be in for some little nightmare action yourself with this one. It could be a few hours to get the gold out of it as well. So there you go. So until the next time. And again, congratulations to our Louisiana rep who has made the Speaker of the House. So I mean, it's kind of unusual. Louisiana has the two of the most powerful people in government now, Speaker of the House, and then the Majority Leader Steve Scalise. And but yeah, the fact that American people basically spoke, hey, stop it, watch out. The kittens are playing with a box. If you've got cats or kittens, the one necessity to have is boxes, empty boxes. And they love it, but excuse me. So yeah, that's and we've gotten rid of the the libtard scum governor that managed to cheat his way back in. I believe in the 2022 is one of those, just like Trump. They were so far behind, and then all of a sudden, wow, what do you know? The votes came in, and they took the took the spot, and this is one of those shithole states with Louisiana, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge, the capitals. They swap out as being the murder capital of the United States, in between, of course, Detroit and Chicago, and those shitholes. But the rest of the country around it is red and well armed, and we'll put the scumbags down if they get out of their fucking swamp. So, and there you go. And I'm not sure what we're gonna do, if we're gonna do anything on Halloween or not. I'll just have to see. Kind of been had a little hard time with the breathing here lately again, and I don't know. It's just kind of depressing. I'm not as enthusiastic as I usually am for my Halloweens. Maybe we'll do a clip show or something. I'm not gonna be. I don't think I'll be feel like putting on makeup or anything this year and embracing the horror. So we'll see. But thank you all at any rate. Appreciate you being here, watching. Like I said, subscribing and following the channel, supporting it. You got a few more days if you want to get in on some Halloween Blood Bayou pay dirt, and probably, like I said, I'll be doing something else here coming up for the bottle number 45, the MAGA bottle. Since will be 1 year till the election here in November next week. So I've been doing some kind of a promotion with that. We'll see. But all right. Well, so until the next time, y'all have a great weekend or day or evening, whatever your case may be when you're watching this, and a very safe and happy Halloween if I don't see you before then. And these cats are just crazy. And there's did you say hi? There's my littlest one. We saw Mommy's girl last time. This is my littlest little Tigger here. She's the run of the group, and she's a little feisty. She's a little feisty baby. So till next time, thank you all so much. Take care of each other, and peace out, my friends.